In this series, we will discuss 7 of the commands Christ gave his disciples. This week, we wrap up the series with the command to make disciples. This is Jesus' 7th command, to make disciples of all nations. In the Gospels, much of what we read is Jesus' interaction with his disciples. These disciples and others followed Jesus for an estimated 3 years. They heard him teach wonderful truths, saw him perform miracles of compassion and power, stood beside him as he stood up to the religious hypocrites who pretended to follow God, and watched his example of true humility and a servant's heart. They were learners, the meaning of disciples. As they spent more time with Jesus, he sent them out to do what they saw him doing. And so it wasn't a surprise that when Jesus returns from the grave, he gave a command to his disciples to continue as he has done. Make more disciples, learners, and teach them as Jesus did those he discipled. Today, 2,000 years later, this is the most simple and basic model we use to share our faith with others. Discipleship is the process of making and teaching a new disciple the ways of Jesus Christ. Who are you discipling? Even if you're new in faith, you can teach someone what you're learning. You do not have to be a pastor or multiple years in faith to disciple others. You just have to be willing to obey Jesus' command. We provided this series and all the other resources at PCL to help you obey this command. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe everything I have commanded you. And remember, I am with you always, to the end of the age. This memory verse wraps up the series. Jesus commanded us to teach others as he has taught us to obey his commands. As we wrap up this series, consider, why did Jesus use a discipleship model? There's many ways he could have laid out his way for us, but he chose disciples and taught them daily through interaction in his life. Why that model, and why does he invite us to use that model today? You can always find more on our mobile application, website, Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter accounts.